Hey guys, Bird Dog John here with hopefully another quick, helpful tutorial. Try and keep it less than 10 minutes. We want to talk about the OSD, which stands for on-screen display. We get several tickets about this, and so I thought it'd be easier just to explain this in the video. The OSD is a menu that's on the screen, on-screen display. It's not the web UI though, not the black and green web UI that you're used to with Bird Dog products. There's actually another menu, and there is some helpful information in there and a couple of tools that you're going to want to know how to use. The first and fastest one that I want to cover first is the SV number, how to find it. So if you're here for that, that'll be the first thing we address. So let's jump over to my desktop and take a quick look at what is going on here. What I've done is I've opened Studio Monitor. I'm just looking at my P100 that's hanging on my ceiling here. And I've opened Studio Monitor and I right click and I connect to that one. And then I'm going to hit this little cog wheel right here. And you'll see in Google Chrome, you use Google Chrome. In Google Chrome, we're going to see the web UI. Now, you might already know the IP information, so you may not need to use this, but you're going to want to watch the image while we do these on-screen displays because it's on screen. So, all right, so let's go into the super secret password. Mine is Bird Dog. If you slow that down, that's what I typed because that's the default, and no one's going to hack this one, I don't think. So we're going to go into the web UI. Now, you can manipulate the OSD two ways. You can use the little gray remote control that comes with it, or we wrote it into the web UI for most, if not all of our cameras, I think now. So it's on the PTZ menu. PTZ, and you click on the OSD tab, okay? So by default, it'll say Control, go to OSD. And here we're going to click On, Off, and you're going to see an on-screen display appear. Now, for the SV number, we want to go to System. So the shortest path there is up twice. Click on System and click Right, and that goes into the sub-menu. And there at the bottom, we see the SV number, okay? Now, for those of you who are upgrading firmwares and that sort of thing, if the OSD doesn't turn on, that means your firmware, your baseboard is not up to date. So go ahead and update it. If you get here, and this is, as of today, here we are in July of 2021. Here's my SV number on a P100. That's the latest and greatest. And so I can confirm that I've got the latest baseboard here for my P100. That's where you find it. If you need to find it, that's great. If that's what you're here for, you can stop the video and go on with the rest of your life. But if you would like to know more, there are a couple things that we're going to cover. The first thing I'm going to cover is here on this screen is called preset memory. Okay, and preset memory is an option to save coloration in your presets. So when we call preset 1, it goes to a location and then it calls basically coloration and XYZ axis information. Actually, it goes to the location first and then recalls all the coloration, gets the shot ready for you to go to it live. This option works great with automatic settings. Okay, so you're running full auto or mostly auto. Maybe your exposure is set to indoor, outdoor, something like that. But for the most part, everything is automatic and you're saving the coloration settings, the sharpness, and a bunch of other things. You can save that in the preset. However, if you're running in full manual, this is not a good idea because full manual is going to literally think that you're going to manually set every shot because it is fully manual, okay? So in full manual, you don't want to recall the coloration settings. You want to just recall the XYZ axis, and then when it goes there, you manually adjust the colors as you want them, and then you go to the shot. Okay, so we would change this from preset memory on to preset memory off. So we scroll up and down to select it in red, and then we're going to click right, and it's going to change it to off. Now that we've got it in off, we would back out of the menu, okay? And now this camera is sitting in preset memory off, and now I would resave my settings inside Studio Monitor. Okay, so I put it in the position I want, and then I click Store, and then I click the one that I want, and that now saves that preset location information only, no coloration, all right? And that's best when you're using manual coloration, okay? So you want to change that to preset memory off, and that is found on the system submenu of our cameras. So here we are, system submenu, preset memory off. Now I have preset memory on because this is a controlled studio environment and I don't necessarily need to just do location. Okay, so that's the second thing on this menu. The third is the factory reset button. On the baseboard, the factory reset buttons just reset the coloration settings. They do not reset the IP information, and they don't reset the presets. Okay? That's not a way to clear. That is just the factory reset button right there that you see is just to reset the coloration. Okay? That's all that does. So if you're confused about, man, I've been hitting this and it doesn't reset the IP, That is not where you do that. I'm hitting this button, it's not clearing the preset cache, it's all still there. That's not how that's done. This is clearly just to reset the coloration. Now, real quick, the IP information can be reset with Bird Dog Neuralizer, or you can get, like, maybe you don't know what the IP address is. You can use Bird Dog Neuralizer, and that is a video that I made that's on the knowledge database. So just search for it on the knowledge database. Or you can use the IPv6 address. And there's a very quick tutorial and an example about me finding a camera with the IPv6 address. Also a video available on the knowledge database. So you can give yourself a couple of extra minutes and watch one of those videos, learn how to use that method, and then get into the camera that way, all right? So factory reset does not reset anything but the coloration of the camera. Okay, so one of the last things I want to show you is actually, so you notice exposure, white balance, picture 1, picture 2. All of those settings are inside the web UI. And so you don't necessarily have to go in there and manipulate those, because you can do that in a much more friendly version right here on the AV screen. Check it out. Exposure, white balance, picture, all the picture options are here. And then we've added our own color matrix on here. So it's way easier to do it just here with a mouse instead of a remote control and an IR sensor. Okay, so back to the OSD. Pan tilt zoom. This is the other spot that I want to draw a little bit of attention to. This option allows you to change the pan tilt speed threshold. Okay, so here PT speed is the max speed that when you go full over in Studio Monitor, that's the max speed that it will go. That will be your new 100% speed, okay? So I have mine set to 3. This camera does not need to move that fast. It's mounted on the ceiling. But some people want to get to their they want to have the full control and full speed. It does degrade the image a bit the faster you go, okay? So if you need it to be nice and crisp and clear, you don't want to go, and if you're training volunteers in particular and they go full over, they might lose control of the camera and lose the targeted subject. So this might be a good way to kind of like limit that a bit so that it's easier to train and people don't necessarily go off target very quickly. So this is the pan tilt speed. You also notice that there is a preset speed, okay? Also a threshold. So this is how fast does the camera go from preset 1 to preset 2, okay? That's the threshold speed. So you can change it from 5, which is just max speed. Just get to there as fast as you can to whatever you want. Now all the way down to 1 or 0, which I don't know why you would pick 0, but anyways, there's the option. So you can change the preset speed, and that's how fast presets go from one to another. Now, there is no way to control that, okay, in terms of per preset. When I go from preset 1 to 2, I want to go to speed 3, but when I go from 1 to 3, I want to go to speed 4. That's called cruise control, and that's actually a feature in the control boards for other products, all right? So cruise control is not something that's built into the OSD. If you're looking for that, that is a fairly expensive feature that controller softwares and hardwares specifically engineer, and it's usually referred to as cruise control. So if you're looking for that, you're not going to find it here on the OSD. You're going to find that as a paid feature elsewhere, okay? Okay, you can change, you can invert the pan and the tilt direction if you like. So when you go left, you go right, right, left, up, down, all that stuff. If you're an aviation pilot, you might want that. I don't know, but you can customize that to as you want. And there are some other options on there that you can play with. But for the most part, that is the majority of the questions that we get about the OSD. And there you go, quick little video, and hopefully that is helpful. All right, guys, that's it for me. I hope that you're having a good one. Hopefully that this video is helpful, and we will check you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.